What's up, YouTube? In one of my last videos, I showed you how to remove yellowing on your soles. I'll add a link to that video in the description below. But what's the point of having fresh white soles if the uppers are all creased and misshapen? So in this video, I'm going to quickly show you a few methods I found to be very effective for removing creasing, maintaining your sneaker's shape, and avoiding future creasing. Alright, let's go. This video specifically focuses on the toe box area of your shoes. This is typically the part of the upper that receives the most abuse. I'm going to be working with two of the most common types of sneaker materials, leather and canvas, but this could be applied to many other materials. For the leather, we have a pair of 3-year-old Jordan 1 University Gold, and for the canvas, we have a pair of 11-year-old Jordan V2 Grown. Please note, there is no guarantee these methods I'm showing you will completely remove all creasing, but if you follow these steps, I can promise you will see a noticeable improvement and you will prolong the life of your kicks. With that, let's get started. But before we begin, it's important when you follow these steps, you do it one shoe at a time. The first thing you want to do is clean the sneaker. If it's filthy, you should scrub it down completely, but if it's not too bad, you can simply wipe it down with a warm wet cloth and dry it off. I already cleaned these, so I'll skip that step. What you'll need: paper, or ideally a bunch of old socks, one white towel, warm water, an iron or a steamer, or both. Take your paper, or ideally a bunch of thick socks, and stuff the toe box as tight as you can, pressing all the way into the toe box. You will already start to see the sneaker returning to its original shape. Don't leave any space in the toe area that are not filled tightly. I usually save all the orphan socks that get separated in the wash and use them for just this purpose. I also use those socks to store some of my kicks long term. It helps them keep their shape when they're sitting on the shelf for months or even years. Shoe trees are great, but they're not as effective as socks or paper because they can't fill every area of the toe box. Plus, they cost more money, so I prefer this method. Next, take a warm, damp towel and lay it smoothly over the toe box, removing any kinks or creasing in the towel. I recommend using a white towel with no decorative prints on it. You don't want to risk transferring dyes from the towel onto your shoes. For the next two steps, you can either follow both or just one, depending on what you have at your disposal. I typically do both for best results. Remember, follow these steps one sneaker at a time. First, I use my steamer and rub it over the toe box for about 2 minutes. The steam helps soften the material, while the stuffing helps push the material out to regain its intended shape. The steam is very hot, so be careful not to burn your hand. Next, while the material is damp and the towel is still warm, take your iron and run it over the toe box for a few minutes, pressing down firmly on the most creased areas. Again, be very careful not to burn yourself. After a minute or so, remove the towel and check for progress and trouble spots. Also, while you're checking, remember to push your stuffing back tightly into the toe box. It can start to slip out or loosen up when you're ironing, and you need it to stay firm, so it's always good to double check. After a few minutes of ironing and pressing down on the creased areas, remove the towel and leave the sneaker to cool off. Make sure you leave the stuffing in the sneaker while it's cooling. For best results, leave the stuffing in them until the day you're ready to wear them again, however long that may be. And there you have it. Not perfect, but definitely a major improvement. Even when I take the socks out of the toe box, you can see the improvement. Check out this side-by-side comparison. One shoe before steaming and ironing, and one shoe after steaming and ironing. I have sneakers over 10 years old that I have done this for multiple times, and believe me, it makes a difference. Try it and see for yourself. Now, as promised, here are 4 simple tips to avoid future creasing. Tip 1. This is pretty obvious, but you should always try to avoid bending at the toe when crouching down or walking. Walking flat foot is the best way to avoid creasing. Tip 2. I recommend wearing your sneakers loose. This is not always comfortable or safe for everyone, but if you can do it, I highly recommend you do. It will help alleviate a lot of stress on the materials and laces when you're walking. Tip 3. Depending on the sneaker, you can go a size to a half size up to give your foot more room and alleviate stress on the materials. Tip 4. I'm a big advocate of this one, but investing in a $10 pair of force fields will go a very long way. They have adhesive on them that allows you to stick them to the inner part of your toe box if you wish, but I find that unnecessary. Your toes will keep them in place, and this way you can easily swap them out for multiple pairs, not just Air Force 1s and Jordans. For best comfort using force fields, you might want to go a half size up, but it's worth it in the long run. Alright, that's my video. I hope this was informative, and I hope it helps you keep your kicks just a little fresher for a little longer, so you can invest your time and money in more important things. If any of this was helpful, I ask that you please like, subscribe, and for updates and notifications, please ring that bell. You can also follow me on Instagram at E21Life for other random stuff. Thank you for watching, and until next time, stay safe, everyone. Peace.